Hey guys, Rick Stone here from Our Stoney Acres. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about a few plants that you can still get planted in September. And when I'm talking September here, I mean early September. That's when you need to be making this happen in your garden. Otherwise, you're about out of time, okay? Now, before we get started, please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click that notification bell so you get notice every time I release new videos. And go over and follow us on Instagram as well. I also wanted to give a big thank you to Smart Pots, who is our sponsor for this video. I'm sitting here in front of the Urban Raised Bed Garden. This is the 2x4 version of the Urban Raised Bed Garden over at my daughter's house today, and I wanted to kind of show you guys this as well. So thank you to Smart Pots for sponsoring these videos. Okay, so I am going to talk to you guys about what we can still plant in September. My daughter kind of got a little bit of a late start here in the fall and still wants to get a few things in, and so we have some lettuce starts that we're going to be putting in and a few other things that we're going to be covering. I did want to show you guys, though, kind of a follow-up video of how well this urban raised bed garden did. So that you know, my daughter's yard is full of trees, and this literally is the only place in her garden that gets 6 to 8 hours of sunlight a day, just this little space right here. And so we decided to bring this Smart Pots garden bed in and use it to give them a little space. And boy, I am so happy with it. If you want to see more about how we actually put this together, there's a link to that video right up here. But boy, this really worked out well. You know, they've got some tomatoes and peppers. I'll do a cutaway. Tomatoes, peppers, basil, cucumbers, and even a pumpkin plant. Growing in this little 2x4 foot bed, and they've had a lot of harvest. I was a proud papa when I saw the first handful of tomatoes that she harvested from this bed. So it did really, really well. Thanks to Smart Pots for you know, helping us get this put together and for sponsoring this. I'm super happy with how it turned out. Just really, really good. So now let's go, and we're going to head over here to the shade and talk a little bit about what we can plant in September. Before I actually get to the list, I did want to make sure that I was clear here at the front as to what garden zones we're talking about here. So this video is designed for those of you that live in zones 5, 6, and 7. And more importantly, we're looking at people who have a first frost date in the middle to late October. So you need to in order to get this to work, you need to have about 6 to 8 weeks before your first frost in order to get these planted. So now let's go hit the list. So what can we still plant in September? Really recognize that you are running out of time. And the time that you are running out of is daylight, okay? Because by the time we hit November, 1st of November, middle of November, the day length is getting very, very short. And that means that our crops, even if your weather is decent shape still, your crops are not going to be doing much in the way of growing just because they don't have enough sunlight. So you really need to hurry. Early September, get these crops that we're going to talk about planted, okay? So you do have the opportunity to get a few root crops still planted. Things like carrots, turnips, beets, and radishes can still go in this time of year. But you, again, because we're trying to hurry so much, you need to be doing some things to help them to get germinated quickly. And I like to use burlap to make that happen. And so there's a video that I did just a couple of weeks ago right up here that you can click on that'll tell you more about how to use burlap to get seeds to germinate quickly. But we have to get them germinating quickly, otherwise we're going to run out of sunlight. So we can't mess around planting this time of year. So again, carrots, beets, turnips, and radishes, you can all still plant about 6 to 8 weeks before your first frost date, which is getting very close. So hurry and get those in, okay? Now next we do have some leafy greens that are also going to do well. And leafy greens don't need as much sunlight, and so that is a good crop to plant in the fall. So here we're talking about things like lettuce. So I've got some lettuce seedlings that we are going to be transplanting into some of these Smart Pot containers today for my daughter. And then you can also plant by seed. So you can either do transplants or you can do seeds directly in the soil still this time of year. Again, I would use some burlap to get those seeds to germinate quickly, but that is a great option. So lettuce, spinach, collards, kale, mosh, endive, Swiss chard, all of those kind of leafy greens are still going to do okay this time of year. Again, early in September, as quick as you can, get those guys planted, and you should be able to still get a nice harvest of fall crops and even into the winter for those. Last on our list is the Brassica family. So these have to be put in by transplant, okay? So here we're talking about broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, and kohlrabi, okay? We're too late for Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts have a longer growing period than those, and so we're too late for those. But broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, kohlrabi still have time if you put them in using transplants. And again, early September is when you're targeting to get those in. So get them in quickly and take care of them, and they should give you a good harvest, you know, somewhere around the 1st to the middle of November is when those plants are going to be producing, okay? So I am going to go ahead and get a few things planted for my daughter. By transplants, we're going to do these lettuce. We've got 8 or 10 lettuce transplants here that we're going to put into some of these smart pots. And then we are going to plant some kale and some spinach and some Swiss chard in some of these as well by seed. And then we're going to put some burlap over the top of these to make sure that they germinate quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started really quick, guys. Again, thank you to Smart Pots. They have done an awesome job again this summer of sponsoring us here on the YouTube channel, and I just want to encourage you guys to go take a look at their products. They have awesome containers, and the raised bed garden that we looked at earlier, just a lot of great options for you. They're a US made company, lead and BPA free in all their containers. They're just a great option for you, and I would encourage you to go check them out. There's a link in the description of this video where you can go see their website, and if you use the code STONEY at checkout, you'll get 10% off of your purchase. So link down in the description for that. Go buy yourself some smart pots, maybe a raised bed. Great options for you, okay? All right, thanks to Smart Pots for joining us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys and all your support this summer. Hopefully you guys will have a great fall garden. We'll talk to you next week. Happy gardening.